I'm Sonia Goins and I'm in Maple Grove. Here's a look at today's top stories.
Minnesota's winters can be picturesque and beautiful. But as anyone can attest, they can also be harsh and unforgiving.
I'm not adaptable to winter. I don't like winter very much.
Yet despite Bob Fisher's distaste of the season, he came up with an idea 25 years ago to set those feelings aside and sleep in a tent on the front lawn of his Wayzata home, all with a greater purpose in mind.
You and most everybody else would not think there's a whole lot of needy people around Wayzata, but there are. That right over here is the boardwalk, and that's a Section 8 housing.
What started as a one-man effort with Bob and his tent 25 years ago to help his neighbors.
That was going to be my home for 35, 38 days, something like that.
Evolved into an annual sleep-out campaign involving Plymouth-based Interfaith outreach and community partners.
We've gotten thousands and thousands of people to sleep out in their tents, to get involved financially, to open their homes, bring in food, millions of pounds of food every year.
In those 25 years, Interfaith Outreach has raised more than $32 million to help fight poverty, hunger, and homelessness.
And in the 25 years that the sleep out has been going on, we've prevented homelessness 34,200 and some times. So you could darn near fill Target Field.
Now the hope is that others will follow Bob's example. This year, Interfaith Outreach is asking people to take the Be Like Bob challenge. They can donate online, they can encourage their friends to participate, they can put up signs in their yard, or they could set up a tent and organize their own sleep out.
We're asking people to be careful, but sleep in a house, whatever. Go sleep in your garage, sleep in your car.
The idea is for people to get out of their comfort zones while raising awareness for the needs in the area. And while Bob admits that his days of sleeping in a tent during the winter have passed, he's encouraging others to do it between now through the end of December.
It's always been my goal, is just to get people aware and then get them involved.
In Wayzata, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A Maple Grove business that installs giant personalized signs in people's yards is booming because of the pandemic. Card My Yard is a franchise that began 6 years ago. Prior to COVID, there was about 100 locations nationwide. Now there's about 400, including one in Maple Grove. Since people weren't allowed to gather in large groups due to COVID-19, a local resident bought the Maple Grove franchise a couple months ago because she saw the need for it.
Especially right now, it seems like it was just the right time to do it. There's, been so, with the pandemic, it's just been a really tough time for people. And it's just a nice way to be able to let somebody know you're caring about them, even if you can't be with them. You can still put a smile on their face.
Casey Pierce says since September, she's already installed more than 100 signs, and she continues to get more requests. The huge signs celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, adoptions, and other milestones. In total, Minnesota has 5 Card My Yard locations. We'll have more information on our website, ccxmedia.org. Pafu Yang, CCX News.
Bought my first real camera when I was 24.
Willis Gilliard admired photography from an early age. In it, he found his passion.
Somebody was out there, in the wild next to this polar bear. Somebody's actually doing that. Somebody gets to have these experiences. Somebody gets to tell these stories. And I think that's what I like about photography. Is I get to tell the story.
Gilliard tells the story of the 2-week period of rioting and mayhem this summer in Minneapolis. Each of his images, a frozen moment in time, captured forever.
I did all of these with portrait lenses. Every one of these photos was taken with an 85, which is a portrait lens, which means I can't get his full body from right here. I can get his head and shoulders. And when you're in crowds, that's crazy tight.
3/4 of the exhibit, titled Divine Animal, currently up at North Hennepin Community College, features work from this past summer. The remaining wall features work from earlier in Gilliard's career.
Some of that's festival photography, and so I'm used to crowds and being inside and being next to crowds of people And so like I'm fairly comfortable in that space, like, so I don't have to really think too much about what to do.
He demonstrates a seasoned photographer's seamless integration with his camera to capture images while constantly anticipating and thinking in the middle of fluid situations.
If you see something going on like over there and like there's like a bunch of people in front of you, you need to think about like where you get a clear shot at these people, like where you can like post up and get a good shot, and like where and how long like can you sit there, like how long until like that's not a thing anymore. And it's a lot of running around.
His images are fascinating, and as with any art, it's best viewed in person. However, if you can't make it down to the gallery, check out the 3D offering on the NHCC Fine Arts website. In Brooklyn Park, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.